Hey Pisces, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works and we leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, go check your other major placements. Major placements are Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And we're going to start off with these botanical inspirations, and then we'll move on to a more traditional tarot spread. And if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, you should. All right. So we have flocks, unanimity, and harmony. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe, Marcus Aurelius. So flocks, let's see if we can... Unanimity and harmony. All right. And hydrangea, thankfulness for understanding. So being grateful when you're being understood, when somebody gets you, when somebody gets your vibe, somebody understands you. Before we can forgive one another, oh, I hate this quote. We have to understand one another. I love Emma Goldman, but I'm sorry, but you can totally forgive things you don't understand. And you can forgive people you're never going to be able to understand or figure out why they did what they did or where they're coming from. But we're talking getting along. And yeah, a lot of like unity in these two cards, or like closeness, or being able to understand and relate to people. Thankfulness for understanding, and unanimity and harmony. So being in harmony with the people around you. So I'm doing an evening read and I have new lights. So let me know if these are a little bit better than what I've had before. All right, Pisces. This is your past. This is your present. This is your inner landscape. This is what's at issue. This is your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Always gives me a little bit of a strange feeling when I get cards that I just recently got, despite shuffling and shuffling. So, all right. There we go. We got the cards we got. So, in your recent past, you have 4 of coins here. This is being very focused on something, possibly to the exclusion of other relationships. You've sort of left society behind here and focused on learning something, maybe focused on a new job, maybe focused on your schoolwork, maybe focused on just something else, where almost to the extent where you've excluded other people, you're not really paying attention to anything else. It's a little bit of myopic focus here. And there are times and places where that's totally appropriate, so not to diss that. There are times and places when it's not appropriate. It reminds me a little bit of like workaholism, which is the worst of them all, I think, because you have to work, you have to, and then reward being obsessed with that and sacrificing relationships in your life for that sort of thing. But 4 of coins, just being really focused on something, being very focused on something that you're learning about, something that you're developing, some sort of idea that you're developing, and it might be at the expense of some other parts of your life. So we can do relationships that way. 4 of coins doesn't typically relate to relationships, but there isn't really a relationship card that talks about this, where we're so focused on relationships that we forget to develop other aspects of ourselves. We're so focused on being with other people, making sure the relationship's working okay, making sure everybody has what they need, that we forget to focus on other aspects of our life that are very important as well. And then in your current situation, you have this 8 of Wands. So lots of communication, maybe moving going on here, but lots of messages and communications. These could be divine messages coming in here, which is interesting because you've sort of been really focused on something else. So you might not see these coming because they're kind of coming out of left field a little bit here. There's like literally a field and they're literally coming from the left. But they could be divine messages or actual messages. Whenever I get the 8 of Wands, this is sort of a warning to me to check all of my messages, to check all of my emails, check all of my voicemails, make sure nothing fell behind a crack, make sure all my mail has been opened and dealt with, and all my communications thoroughly read and understood. So there could be communication difficulties. This card is just general for me and my experience with these cards. Just general, pay attention to communication. There's communication coming in. So, or it could be messages could be moving, but it is a fast moving energy. It's very quick moving. So something's really happening very fast here. You have this Four of Coins energy that you're coming from, which is very solid and very slow moving and methodical. And then you go into this Eight of Wands energy, which is, if it's not happening for you right now, it's just happened or it's about to, and it's just movement, a lot of quick things going on here. And hopefully you're able to shift focus and pay attention to that, those messages coming in here. In your hopes and dreams and possibly fears, you might be worried that you're sick or you're getting sick, or worried about getting sick, or you might also be like really hoping for a nap. You would really like a nap, especially for me anyway, and I think lots of people with quarantine and all that, just needing to communicate in different ways. This can be very exhausting. And so you're sort of, this Four of Swords is regrouping. So maybe you'd like to, get a little more organized or rest up for tomorrow. So resting is definitely part of regrouping. It's part of preparation. And so that's maybe something that you're thinking about, or something that you're hoping to do, is to get some rest. You might also be worried that you're getting sick, or worried about being sick, that there's something wrong with you that's going to make you have to go to bed for a long time and be bedridden for a long time. Or it could just be hoping for a chance to catch your breath, to rest up for the next bit of life, feeling a little overwhelmed and just really hoping for a rest and for a break from something. You've been really focused here. So we've got the Four of Coins here, super focused energy. And then we go over here with this Four of Swords, which is nap time, nap energy. So, and then in between them, we have the Eight of Wands. So you're going from this Four of Coins, maybe you get lots of messages, and then you're like, okay, yeah, I would really like a break. I'd like some nap time. I've been very focused. You've been very focused in the recent past, and now you'd like to take a break, or you might be worried that you have to take a break, and you don't want to lose this focus and don't want to lose this concentration. What's at issue here is this Knight of Wands card. So the Knight could be coming in with another message, but that message is not coming in. You have all these other messages, but this is one that's not coming in. The Knight of Wands could also be feeling very uninspired, hence you're probably needing this. This allows for inspiration to naturally happen, where you don't have to seek it out and figure out what it is. But this is a Knight. He would normally be coming in a little recklessly, slightly fast, maybe with a message, but with a lot of inspiration, a lot of charisma. He might be at the forefront of his battalion here, or whatever you call them when they're on horses. And then we also have like the flames and the passion. So we have this Knight of Wands that could have been coming in. It can be a little bit of an immature energy. It can be a little bit in the upright. It can be a little bit of a reckless energy, but nothing's coming in at all. Or if it is coming in, it's coming in so recklessly and so wildly and uncontrollably. So it's the Knight of Wands gone wrong. So yeah, there's a lot of possibilities here as far as being uninspired, not feeling like you're getting the messages that you need to get, even like inspiring messages or messages from beyond, and not receiving those aren't coming in. It could also be, instead of just this inspiration coming in, we could be talking about just an overall very reckless actions and behaviors happening, a lot of immaturity happening. And then in your environment, we have this Five of Cups. So there's this grief here. There's a sadness, some regrets maybe. Maybe you've regretted focusing so much on work because it's sitting right underneath this. So maybe you were very focused on something and now it hasn't yielded what you wanted it to yield. Or someone around you is feeling a lot of regret, a lot of sadness. These two cups have been spilled, so this is upset literally, and we have this someone trying to comfort them, but they just don't want it. They don't like what's happened. They don't like what's gone on, and they're not exactly moving on from it really quickly. They're not like, okay, yeah, all right, well, that happened, moving on. This is really getting into their feels about what happened. So there could be something very regrettable that has happened. I'm wondering if this reverse Knight of Wands made some very rash behaviors and rash actions, and nobody's super happy about it. We're having a little bit of a grief process, some regrets here. When it's not, this isn't an all is lost card, because there's still three in this version. There's 3 cups up right here that can be still imbibed and enjoyed, and but we've got these 2 down here that we're not happy about, and we're very focused on somebody here. This is your external, so this could be something going on in your environment, at your work, or someone around you. Just very focused on what's not here, what we don't have anymore, what's been lost, possibly what's been lost to time, what's been lost to behaviors and actions, and they just really don't want to focus on. They either don't want to because they're getting something out of focusing on the loss, or they're not yet ready to, and that's sort of something someone internally has to figure out. They're not yet ready to focus on what they do have. There's still quite a bit here, and this card can also be about just choosing what you're focusing on, and so we can choose that. It's very difficult because you have to catch the thoughts, and then you have to figure out these gentle ways to sort of massage them to be better. You know, you don't want to like, that's a bad thought, go back, because that's not a good thought either. So you have to be like, come up with these thoughts, and first you notice them, then you have compassion for them, then you sort of nudge them very gently to a more positive place. So this guy he needs some sympathy, he needs some empathy, and then only he will know when to nudge himself over to something more positive here. And what we have here, what you're supposed to do, your job here is to be fair, to bring in the justice. It always seems like injustice has its thumb on the scale, but you're to bring in some justice, some balance, some clear thinking, some even-handedness, some very clear sight, clear thinking. You're bringing in the justice, Pisces. You're being fair. Maybe that's what this thankfulness for understanding is that there's some grief process, and somebody needs to be grateful for the people that do get what they're going through. And maybe you're this person here, since this is in your environment, maybe you're this person that brings in this compassion and this understanding, which is a really big step towards moving forward on something, is to feel heard, to feel understood. And most people want to feel heard. Most people want to feel understood. There are people that do not, and I do not get that, but whatever. And they don't, but most people want to be just heard and understood, and it makes moving on so much easier once that is accomplished. So that's where this hydrangea energy might be coming in here. But you're bringing in justice, fairness, truth, honesty, being fair to people. I mean, this might have been a little bit rash, but maybe we don't need to go all out regrets here and get stuck there, but maybe bringing in some balance. This is some unbalanced energy, working really hard, needing to rest. This is like that work crash energy that sometimes happens where, you know, you work really hard and are really focused on something, and then you just crash for a few days, and then you can go back. That can get to be a cycle. So maybe you're balancing that out, although I'd expect to see some temperance in here with that. There is some balance that needs to come in here, and that's your job, is to bring some balance. Maybe there's been some rash behavior here. Maybe there's some regrets, and you need to bring in something about fairness. You are the justice here. You are the sense of fairness, setting things right, bringing in the balance. Maybe you do need to point out these 3 other cups here, you know. And then where you're going is this Queen of Swords energy. This is getting very focused. So this could be you, Or this could be someone that's coming into your life. This is Queen of Swords, so this is probably a person more than a vibe, but it could be a vibe, but I don't know how that would work. It's a person, and it's either you or somebody else. So this is coming into you. This is somebody coming in. So this is harsher justice. This is you with some gentle, kind justice, some fairness. And this is just somebody, a person who's very focused on what they think, what they believe, what they know, what they want. And they can be so focused on this that they forget that other people have feelings and other people have, that they're working through, other people are working on themselves. So this is, the Queen is very inwardly focused. She's very focused on what she wants and what she needs. And that is okay, that's fine. We all need to bring that energy into our various situations, because how can we have justice if we're not bringing in what we want and any kind of clarity with what we want? How would anybody know what would then be fair? What's the compromise, or what's the even spot? So if somebody doesn't know what they want. So this is a really important energy to come into, but she can be a little harsh because she's very focused on her truth and what she sees and what she wants to express and what she wants to communicate. And she may sometimes forget that other people have feelings and issues that they are dealing with themselves. So, but this is being very focused on that. It changes a situation. Bringing in that energy is going to change the situation a little bit here. I don't know how much it's going to change the situation, but it'll change the situation. So there's some sort of, so that's a possible outcome here, is once things get fair, maybe you need to be fair to yourself too. Maybe there's been some sort of imbalanced relationship and you need to come in, and somebody needs to, is gonna, once the relationship gets balanced, or once the situation is set aright, somebody comes in with some truth and is able to express their truth. But your job, your to-do list, is to bring in some fairness and some justice. Maybe make sure evil doesn't win this time, and whether that's helping yourself out or helping somebody else out, I don't know. Depends on the situation, but just making sure that injustice does not thrive here, not under my roof, not during my time. And then we're going to also look into, we're going to end it with this wild Kuan Yin oracle deck that I just got, and I'm enjoying thoroughly. But I'm still learning it, so I popped out with a bunch of new things here. We're trying to take one here, just one. It's called Trust. Here, and you're the yak in this situation, and this is Kuan Yin, and Kuan Yin's giving you a little red flower, and I think it's about trusting your, it's about divine guidance. Look through the heart without silencing our intuition or logic. So trusting all of that information that we get, all the guidance we get from our intuition and our hearts. But I think this is about trusting the guidance and trusting, trusting something, trusting yourself, trusting your future, trusting these messages. Maybe these are divine messages that are coming in this Eight of Wands here, and you need to trust those and pay attention to those. All right. Okay, Pisces, I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for your likes and your comments and subscribes. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Was there something else I was supposed to say? I don't think so. Have a great week.